Hello, こんにちは。デトネーションフォーカスミー vs RNG。4試合目、もう後がないデトネーション。今回はブルーサイドを選択。初めてじゃないブルーサイドは。A トロックスを3回連続取られてはいるけど、どうなるかな。サイラスバン、グレーブス、カリスタ、バイを開けたのか。RNG はバンは一緒ですね。マオカイ、ケネン。アジールファーストピックするつもりなのかな。ユーミバン、エイトロックス、アジール。エビエイトロックスやらねえけどな。ブリーズのなんかジャックスとかも相手したくないだろうし。フィセジュワニ、一応トップジャングルフレックスだけど。ナルセさんサブスクライブありがとうございます。 Thank you。
if you want, and essentially just, even though we're flipping sides, stick with the same picks.
Yeah, it's kind of strange if you end up getting the just walk it back on opposite sides. You're kind of wondering, well, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's actually why I'm not the biggest fan of the Sejuani coming through. Like, I totally get it. It's comfort for Steel. He's looked great on it so far throughout play-ins, but it's one of the things that opens up Wei's Viego, and Wei does look like one of the members of RNG who hasn't fully adapted so far to the meta that we have here.
アジール取り上げられるの。
Oh no, I don't think either of us want to see this.
Xiao has a 33% win rate on his team.
We did
not the pick.
We got away. We got away. We took a different route. Lissandra locked in for RNG and Xiaohu.
And this is the combo, right? I mean, you go in,
確実に一人を殺すって感じか。
Viego able to, get control of another champion, and then the ice zombies able to follow up and find those kills. But one of the difference from last game is this time around, things like Yone still left open, but this is much more stock and standard DFM playing that disciplined style that Raz was talking about.
AP が濃いな。
This is definitely a composition now that we're starting to write out that is like, hey, we're going to play for late game. We're going to play for these
AD ジャンプといえば
go for any of these wacky dives during stages. And it is again going to fall back to RNG to play this more aggressive style. So I think taking something like a Tristana here in this bottom side could also
ADC をここで取ってもいいけどね。トリスターナ。
That is going to be the game plan here for DFM.
I love it. I love it coming out so far for DFM. They're not only taking away some things that RNG have liked and leaned on, but also going back to their style. The thing that's scary is what we were talking about, when we finished last game about RNG. They've kind of accepted like, hey, if DFM can match us mid and late, let's just get ahead early, and picks like easier open up.
Fiora?
We could be getting it though. Breed, eyeing up the Fiora. I still think you'll probably take the. Oh, it's gonna take the
Fiora!
This is gonna be it. And this is something everybody that I talked to was like, yeah, but you won't blind pick the Fiora. They're never gonna. This is what we do in LPL. We are happy to blind the Fiora and just go run amok in the top side.
This is how Breathe became famous back when his name was Curse and he was playing on OMG. Had an insane Fiora outplay, and then everyone in the LPL
カウンターとして何を出すんだ。フィオラ相手って何が強いんだっけ。瀬戸とか。瀬戸使うよね。あ、さっき勝ったチーム RNG だったわ。
because people pick Fiora into Aatrox anyway. So they're essentially daring DFM to take the pick as Rel and Nautilus will both stand away. They want to target engaged supports. Over on the other side, DFM knows they have a marksman there. But they'll throw in another engaged support ban of their own. As RNG pick up
AP バルス強いって聞いた。
It is something that's still kind of on the outskirts of the meta and does have a decent amount of push, can set up well for team fights as well, and just have good
Fiora 相手何行く？
from Lissandra. So still you're gonna have a strong enough 4v4 coming through from RNG, decent scaling with the Varus, but I still think a lot of this is going to be predicated on, hey, let's get Breathe ahead in this top side and make sure this Fiora can pop off.
Yeah, and it looks like for Evie, just going to go back to something safe and standard. Going to lock in the Gnar, so should have a decent time up in top side.
サポート、エンゲージ系欲しいけど結構消えてるな。オンリーレオナ、レオナしかない。アリスターもあるけど。
Yeah, Leona. that was the big one I was going to say, especially when you're looking towards the Varus on that bot side as well. Having the solar flare, short range AD carry, Leona just suits super well, and you've got great all in. So now I'm curious to see what Ming is actually going to go with on this bot side.
相手は何やるんだろう。タムケンチとかかな。おお、本当に来た。うまく立ち回って55すればデトネーションが強そうだけど、フィオラがね、やっぱ中国のフィオラ不安要素だし、バルスもバーストエグいって聞いたから一人殺されてバルスじゃねえや、ビエゴが憑依したらどうなるかな。 OK Let's go Detonation Focus Me よし構成はいいと思います。得意のアジール、得意のナー、得意のレオナ、イタポンは得意か分かんないけどトリスターナ、セジュワーニ、みんな得意キャラじゃないの？ RNG はフィオラ。
point and click type of CC available on both sides.
And you know, the thing I'm looking at now is I feel like RNG are going to have to put a lot into playing around top side. The fact that Brady didn't take the flash for DFM, they now have a point to pressure up in top as well. Like you said, Steel gonna have this CC to come through. Hart might be able to find some movements as well because not a ton of threat coming down in bot lane as Breathe not gonna feel too threatened early on, but still a nice trade for DFM.
Yep. Just gonna get a little bit of HP off him up there, but it's not like either top laner really had to do a whole lot of anything. No summoner spells used, no potions consumed. Both of them lose about 100 HP, but nobody's too worried about it. Doesn't look like we'll get a whole lot different from what we've been seeing so far here at the level 1s. A little bit of poking, a little bit of annoyance back and forth, but no real all-in type of moves coming out. Breathe is still just hanging around.
中国のフィオラ怖え。
One extra bit of damage, but it won't happen.
I mean, it's not like he's going to be able to do too much in this top side anyway. Evie should have control there just with the range advantage. We'll have to
アジール対リサンドラ、アジールが圧倒的に有利なはず。
Again, you should have just push across all three lanes here, working relatively well for DFM. And then I think that's how you can open up the map.
3つ見せてくれるの本当いいよね。
Yeah, you know, that's why we don't expect to see too much action able to come through early on in the game. Definitely some setup there. You talked about especially for Xiao having that CC to set up for four-way. The problem is Yaharong on the Azir has the mobility to get away. And then when we look at Steel, we talked about no flash on Breathe, but pathing down towards that bottom side first.
ディエゴのブルーからのギャンク。
Ooh, we could get a nice spicy bit of early gameplay here, or we could get some smoke and Azir standing still. Yep, it's going to be about a little bit of damage there from Wei, enough to deal an HP potion's worth of damage.
I will give the spice level of that play, we'll say a spice like Cumin.
Yeah, that was not a whole lot, but now maybe they're able to spice it up. Flash into the stun. Over the wall goes Yaharong. Xiaohu's here with a follow. They don't have enough damage.
Thank you, Taikyu punch.
He did so well to respect the first game. Gank walks right up. I mean, Wei was waiting around, but still didn't have enough time to get
like
halfway through.
Yeah, really weird that they ended up doing that much to mid lane as well, because they ended up losing a lot of the pressure now that they could follow up with that flash charge on Yaharong. Looks like they are going to move immediately towards the top side though, and we might be looking for a dive up.
ダイブはどうだ？レオナ犠牲にしても別にいいんだけど。うわ、なんだこれ。
There comes your spectral maul, won't hit, won't
このウェーブロストはいて全部燃える。
Solo kill coming through as well. We didn't have anything else happening, but now dive for DFM.
Yep, they're bringing it in, but is it going to be enough? Oh no! Oh no! Before his butt hits the ground.
中国揺さぶってくる。
Where's the slow?
Did they read Raz's win condition? Are they razzing right now?
They might be razzing, man. That was not
えぐいやり方がミッド強引なギャンクで押し付けてから一緒にトップ行ってる。フィオラができる作ってた。トップ処理してからフィオラが来て、あ、フィオラだっけ？リサンドラか？リサンド ドラ行ってカバー。うわ、相手の動き
And
完
that's the
璧す
thing.
ぎ
I
る
mean,
な。
look, you do win on top side for RNG, which is why I think DFM felt the need to make that play, but you really didn't have to. I mean, Udapon was going to be able to slowly chip away at these turrets. You would have gotten those plates. You actually could have then tried to play up to Tristan after she got advantage. I mean, look, Udapon's about to get one for himself here, right? But Ming does a good job of baiting DFM underneath the tower. Knows he has the flash, knows he's got that thick skin. The TP can come through from Xiaohu as well, and Udapon just not quite able to finish him off before they go down. And even the fact that Leon had to flash away from the turret as well to keep herself safe says a lot about how that went.
It was a split second before he hits the ground and gets the rocket jump damage. And I actually think what might have determined it is the fact that the way the turret was shooting, he's up in the air right next to the crystal that fires the bullet.
Yeah.
It had to travel all of about 2 centimeters before it hits him and kills him. And it just feels bad for Udapon, man. The unforced errors are the ones that can sting the most in a game of League of Legends, particularly a game like this where it's all on the line for DFM.
Yeah, I mean, it's a deciding game, and again, it's kind of sadly for DFM that they've been here
まあでもレ
before.
ベル
They
は勝っ
had
て
to
るよ、
play
ボト
against
ムレ。
EDG to get out of play-ins in 2018. Not something you want to do, having to play an LPL to
まだ
decide
終わ
if
っ
you
た
get
わ
to
け
the
じゃな
main
い。
stage.
We can win,
Back then,
boys.
they got 3-0'd, so, you know, they have stepped up, taking a game off RNG, again, another close game too.
で
And
も
this
こ
game's
れ
still
はちょ
not
っ
over
と
just
トリ
yet.
スタン遠いけ
Okay,
どな。
Harp's gonna get punished here. Maybe nice job popping the blast plant. They need a bit more damage to finish him off
トリスタンなん
here.
か軽く
They're
出せ
gonna
ない。
grab the kill. DFM
おー、ちょっと待って。
RNG just
What's
stopped
going
again.
on?
Yeah, they're crashing and burning a little bit here, lads. DFM not able to
何
find
やって
anything
ん
on
だ。
that play. 4-0 now for RNG, and I mean, last year was the first time DFM managed to make it to that Worlds group stage, and unfortunately, it looks like the ship might have sailed with the way that this game is going.
Man, Way is already onto the Drake now too. Remember back to
謎
game
プレ
1
イすぎる。
when DFM got
セジョアニとレオナで殺せるわけないやん。
Drake, boys. Well, it's gonna be even faster here this time around, and it's paired up ever so nicely, complemented by a 2000.
Yeah, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see Wei having a really good series. Honestly, great play-ins, great playoffs in LPL because didn't feel like he had the best regular season under his belt. And he's one of the main driving factors for RNG. We're going to see here DFM wanting to go for this invade and try and find a bit of a punish coming out. But 3 members of RNG are already here. Udapon tries to join up, but Harp is already so low. Feels like everything goes the way of RNG. I even love how aggressively Gala played, flashing in, knowing no real follow-up can come from anyone else.
謎すぎ
That's
るな
because you're
今の
looking
は。
at Udapon, and he's kind of there for emotional support.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got it, guys. Go
Come
free,
on,
guys.
fellas.
Like, oh, okay. Well, that one didn't work out so hot, but now Ming going to be able to move in towards mid lane, going to help out Xiaohu. We're looking at the Rift Herald that's just about to spawn in 45 seconds, and it's just RNG trying to see if they can get control for that, with Gala already starting to get that push in bot side so they can set up for it.
Yeah, they've already got Way with control over the Scuttle Crab. Udapon just walking right back down into the bottom lane to be ready to farm up. So 80 carries both left on their lonesome down here as Way will head back into his own side of the jungle. All of our solo laners have their level 6. They have their ultimates. Of course, Evi's was just spent up there. We know how easily Gnar likes to expend that. Just use it on the wave if nothing else. The cooldown is very short. However, the junglers still both level 5 for now. I do expect, particularly for Way, and there it is, right as I say it, level 6 hit for both of them. So the ultis are available if we get a Herald fight.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if RNG outright start the Herald or if they try to find a play on Evi first.
Herald
Evi
timing.
hasn't walked and shown in lane yet because
守れるかな、どうだろう。
coming through. We'll just check it out. Now we see what DFM wants to do because Steel going to start heading up here. And I mean, DFM do have solid AoE tools to be able to try to pick one member
3
of
対
RNG off.
3。
But RNG did see the enemy top laner on that control board.
いやー、
that they
装備
placed
差
at
が
the
ちょっと
top part of the
差があり
jungle.
す
So
ぎ
they
る
are
ね。
aware of Evi's movements. He's back underneath the turret and
装備差がえぐいです。トップも押し込まれてるし。
DFM, they know that they cannot afford to go try and stop that. As Breathe just backs away a little bit, takes a turret shot, no big deal really. It's Rift Herald over to the side of RNG.
Yeah, able to use that top prio to make sure no one comes in. I also meant CC tools to, you know, pick one member off, as, you know, that is what CC does. But sadly for DFM,
Very important, yes. Yes.
You know, we're here teaching the fundamentals, what people want to know. But DFM, not able to go for any sort of cross map. And it's kind of rough, right? Already being in this position so early on in the game that it really doesn't feel like Like, their draft didn't have the tools to really set anything up regardless, but now already starting to fall into this much of a hole at the 10-minute mark feels rough.
Yeah, and I mean, because you got Breed with this big CS lead in the top side, he's actually going to be very quickly escalating to a point where Evi just can't really deal with them. Xiaohu, yes, is falling behind in the mid lane, but again, it's not really the end of the world if your Lissandra doesn't have the same CS. She's going to be just doing her job.
Counter gank.
Alrighty, we've got a 3v3 maybe brewing down here in bottom lane. DFM, I'm sure we're thinking about it, especially with Harp hitting 6 and Ming not doing the same, but they see Wei shadowing behind. They know if they go in, they're just going straight home in a body bag. They call it off, and I'm glad they did because you just can't force things like that so hard. Xiaohu trying to make the rotation up towards top side, walks over some vision.
トップは結構有利取ってるね。
Yeah, and the fact that we can see him about to mega as well. Breed's already been chunked out a little bit. I like they don't go for that.
There it is. They're gonna blow up Ming, or they know way he gets
Oh my, stop fucking watch, really?
Unipone dies, and DFM's hopes are going with them. Wei wants to grab another one. The piercing arrow right through Steel's heart.
The reset champion into the reset champion.
Stop
Illegal. The amount of distance he got to carry there to finish off these members, and we're still going.
No! やっぱビエゴをバンしたかったな。
Number 7 for RNG. This game is a slaughter. If you have young children watching, tell them to avert their eyes because this is some violence on the rift from RNG.
RNG just scaling up into the series. The most dominant early game they've had so far. Dag, I'll even take this one, but like you said, Wei getting from where he starts to where he ends is crazy.
And the fact that Ming gets away. Like, I don't even see a health bar there. He's just shield. And then as Unipon goes in, he ends up seeing the stopwatch come through perfect. And this is the reset champion into the reset, into the follow-up, and then it's just get it off my screen.
It took him like 5 seconds to get from where he started to where he ended. So yeah, Wei, once again.
普通に CS ではな、ミッドボトム有利取ってるんだけど、事故が続くね。
Harp, oh no, they're just gonna spit him right back out. Gobble, 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 gobble.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
They're just they're having a good time.
There's 3 wards invested once that blast code to stop her from
there we
getting
go.
away.
There we go. 8-0. RNG is just having fun with it at this point. Breathe. Nice repose. Nice dodge. This is why you can blind pick Fiora. Breathe just goes right back in. He wants to box with him a little bit.
I love Breed just playing right in front of them the whole time, just baiting their attention, maybe trying to get Steel to overstay, but DFM knowing they have no opportunity.
I feel like that level of swagger and daring is exactly whoever designed Fiora. Get Fiora's champ designer on the phone. I want to hear, like, this has to be what they were envisioning for playing with your opponents and dancing around them as he does it again. And now Yaharong trying to get stuff away, but it ain't gonna work too well. Or is it? Harp going to the
ビエゴのウルト、アジールのウルト無視しやがった。かあ、やっぱウェイうめえよな。いつもうめえわ。終わってしまったかもしれない。
You've already got 2 dragons for RNG, and we're only 13 minutes into the game. This is the level that RNG were expected to come in at, and finally they're showing their true colors in this series. Now, Breed's going to start putting pressure onto this top lane turret as well, picking up at least 1, if not 2 of these plates before the turret plates fade.
Yeah, looks like DFM though gonna try and find the pick. Can they do it the 3rd time?
Okay, this time.
さすがにこれは殺せるだろう。
Can Breathe escape all 3 of them? He goes back in. He reposts a whole hell of a lot of CC, but he's got very little mana left to work with. He tries the lunge again, and finally, through hell and high water, they come for him again and again, and they get their man. DFM are on the board.
DFM finally have something to show for. Still, not in the best of places, and now I'm hoping, maybe Ming will scold him. Earlier we were talking about how Xiaohu and Ming are the mom and dad. They've said Xiaohu is like the supportive, emotional, let's go guys, and Ming is the one who, brings down the fist when anyone steps out of line. I imagine that's what happened after game 1 as well.
You would have to think something like that, right? One's the parent that's happy you got an A, the other's the parent that says, well, 96 is all right, but what about the other 4?
Exactly. So RNG having to live.
I say it because my mom was like that growing up. Love you, Mom, but we both know it was true. Let's see. Can Evie get away from this one? Yep,
nice.
He's good. DFM, you take those. In a game like this, you take those.
Both top laners showing their experience in dodgeball. I love it. But RNG still being the one to put pressure top side. Surprised that they aren't going to overcommit, but I guess no one from DFM really showing on the map. We can see Yaharong right now picking up Krugs. Harp not even walking out from base yet, so not wanting to overcommit for that objective.
Yeah, taking it slow across the map. I mean, you're going to get the Rift Herald here anyway, so they're pretty happy to just take the objective and leave.
構成はいいから
Breeze should be fine now to start moving down towards this bottom side.
なんとか耐えたかったけど 6000ゴールドか
Of that escape with the Ice Claw to keep himself in check. So overall, again, RNG just going to
きちいな
across their T's, make sure they're able to get all these outer turrets down.
序盤の敵の回り方が良かったなミッド攻めてミッド一緒にプッシュしてからトップダイブ何かしなきゃいけねってことでボトムダイブしたけどそれもうまくいかなかったし全てうまくいかないね
But man, it's been so tough here in this game. Udapone especially, if this man's not completely tilted out of his mind, then he has absolute just like Asgard mental.
I'm just saying, like, how could you? I'm still tilted for him from last game's boomerang blade that didn't get the kill.
I will say though, to give DFM their due, they performed incredibly in game 1 and game 2 of this series. Like game 1, they took the game. Game 2 was incredibly close and they pushed RNG to the limit. So even if they don't pick up the win, this is a massive showing for the LJL region to be able to keep up with the 4th best team in the LPL.
And not just for the LJL. Remember, back during game 1, that was the first time any minor region team had ever taken a game off of RNG. They were 18-0 historically. So DFM definitely showed that RNG can bleed in a way that a minor region team has never shown before. But as you were saying, it's just been RNG ramping up throughout the series. And they're getting to the point now where this is the MSI champion squad. This is the team that people were expecting when they put that 93% vote in, calling RNG the winner.
It's also easy to forget, I know I forget this all the time, that the only team that they've lost to in best of fives is the reigning world champion. EDG are the only team that have beaten RNG in best of fives in summer. They lost 2 to EDG, and we're able to make it here by taking down teams like LNG. So this is a very tough task, despite some of the struggles that RNG had. In LPL
3つ目のドラゴン止めなきゃいけないけどゴールドの差がえぐいなしかも負けてる時に敵にタムケンチいると火力足りないのにタムケンチが救ってくるんだよねキャッチも不可能になるから
That was it's an impressive performance. So I mean, all credit to DFM. As you say, this is a squad that has been together for so long, attract so much of the talent from the LJL. It's incredible to see how they've continuously gone from strength to strength, keep coming back every single international tournament stronger than the last, and make teams like the LPL teams work for their money.
Well, we've got the 3rd Drake of the game dropping now as RNG have control over it. DFM, yeah, they know they're in a tough spot if you give them soul point, but you're in a worse spot if you all die trying to contest for it. So there it is. If RNG can get that last one, it will be soul at about 22.5 minutes into the game. That's incredibly difficult to deal with, but when you consider the game itself being a 7K lead at 17 minutes, it sounds about par for the course. RNG have a death grip on this game and are not letting go.
Exactly. That's why for DFM, I was going to say you want them to kind of draw a line of neutral wards in the sand and just wait to scale up. The problem is, with the fact that they're already on soul point, there really is no time to scale. RNG now to accelerate the game even further.
何かやることがないよな
I mean, a lot of times you see a Herald summoned up for like a first turret take and teams want to force it in to get the damage onto the tier 2. This time around, it's forced damage onto the tier 3. It'll have 25% health remaining. I guess if you're looking for a silver lining on that, at least the tier 3 first do regenerate health, so maybe he'll be able to heal back up over time. But time is a precious resource that DFM have not been given much of this game.
And the thing is, Reeve hasn't even hit his full strength either. Right now, you're looking at him potentially being able to aggress onto a weakened tier 3 on the bot side rather than having to get through a tier 1, a tier 2, then to a tier 3. So already RNG just in such a good spot, and now Yutapon is in
ユタ
trouble.
ポ
Oh
ン
no,
ウル
Ming went
ト
for the flash lick.
Nice.
However, Yutapon does a good job getting away. He didn't even need to use a summoner spell on that one, maximizing the escape power and the self-peel of the Tristana. Yutapon will stay alive for now, but it still means control over the rift, control over the lanes, control over the vision for RNG.
Looks like DFM is setting up for a pick, though. They could look in the mid lane and go, right, well, Yutapon's backed away. We won't fully aggress on towards the turret, but trying to see if they can catch the reinforcements from RNG.
Xiaohu, he's gonna get flash, chain,
おーナイスナイスチェン CC オッケーオッケーでも鳥サナいない鳥サナいないよ
from DFM to find something there, but now they gotta be careful and try to get away. Harp, he used the flash to make the play. He's got no way out, so it's traded 1 for 1.
I like the DFM go for it, and they don't even leave anything to chance. Like, they're like, we're flashing in, we're using all of our ultis to make sure we get this pick, but RNG so
Nice
fast with the
flash
trigger pull
handle.
to react. I mean, had this pick back happened, you know, maybe 15 seconds later, maybe that could have even been a Baron.
I mean, that's a Lissandra who has ulti, has flash, and has stopwatch. If you don't all in and just completely floor it, she's gonna get away.
It's taking
she's
30
gonna
minutes.
live, and the tilt is gonna continue. So I'm glad that they went for it. Now let's see what Evie can do down here. He sticks around trying to get this turret, but it ain't gonna happen. And now Ming has applied the pressure, and Breathe has
Oh, 来るのか。
applied the riposte. Poor little Gnar, you are not long for this
No.
world. Good night. Breathe gets his second kill.
It's a thumbs down for Evie. Unfortunately, not quite able to get away from that one, and now you've still got Wave pushing topside. Push for mid for Gala with 2 minutes now until the Dragon. With
まあ
two
春優勝してるし
smites available, RNG
MSI もな
having swapped
SKT
his spell
倒して
book over
優
to that
勝してるから
as well. It's going to be so incredibly hard for
そら
DFM
強えわ
to test it when they can't even get control of the map.
BO1 だったら勝てるけど
No, incredibly rough. And, you know, for RNG,
BO5
keep
は
just
ね
applying that side lane pressure with the Fiora. The thing now, though, is they don't have those
結局
TPs
強いチームが
available, so
勝
it
ち
could
ま
be
すから
quite
ね
risky for them to over-index. I don't think RNG have a lot to be afraid of in terms of
初戦
DFM
とセカンド
going
ゲームは
for
良か
any
ったん
sort
だけ
of
どな
crazy Baron sneak. Like, RNG might even be able to take a 4v5 with the amount of lead they have, but still gonna have to be on RNG's mind that they don't have that TP for Breathe.
And RNG have a smooth sailing game ahead of them, barring any
世
major
界大会予選って
malfunctions.
元からこんなレベ
In
ル
the
高かっ
next
たっけ
couple of minutes, 75 seconds here on the Soul Drake for them.
明らかにワイルドカードの中では強いデトネーションが出れないってどうなってんだよシステムおいライオットディスローぜクソがよロールっていうゲーム12年シーズン12で
We do that all the time.
インターナショナルの世界大会の BO5 トータル11回しかねえぞ LPL の夏のプレーオフ BO514 回だけどなんで世界大会で11回しかねえんだなんで予選にこの中国とか韓国とか地域1がいるんだおかしいよな予選ってワールドカードの2チームぐらいがいけるトーナメントだったはずだよななんでヨーロッパ2枠の KR 中国いるNA はどうでもいいんだけどメジャーはそのまま本戦行けよ
Feels like a good time to remind people that, I mean, if RNG win this, we already
そう
know
思いませんおかしいし考えてみたらシステムおかしいよな
They're going to be playing with
BO5 は足りねえわ予選でこんな奴ら来るわバグだろ
the tournament favorite, so you know, you do have that opponent, but also I'd
い
say
やワールドカードの中では明らかに強いデトネーションが出れないってちょっとじゃあワールドカード呼ぶなって話よ
I feel like 4RNG should be feeling pretty good about this win and then heading into the group they're going in.
Man, there's the Soul Drake right there, uncontested, in the middle of nowhere. Two dudes just beating the snot out of it.
Look, DFM just don't believe in Drake violence any longer. I do respect it, you know?
They're repenting for their sins against the Drakes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many Drakes there are in, you know, Rune Terra lore, but I'm assuming
C9
they're
に
not
勝てれば本戦出れるくらいのイメージだった数年前はそうだったよね
He's coming back.
NA がレードボスだったのに
Next year.
That's in the future. This is, oh wait, no, actually there's 6. I forgot the Elder. He's like the super Drake.
これ4位だよまあ4位なんだけど
There's
さ
not a whole lot
中
of
国はレベルが高すぎんだ
RNG
よ
is thinning the herd. They've already killed 4 this game. They've got the Mountain Soul at 23 minutes. Well, on top of an 8K gold direct lead. And now you can see him setting up around the Baron here. I would expect this to be the type of game where you get one Baron, you deathball it down whichever lane you prefer, and you win the game.
Yeah, I don't even know if you need the Baron, to be perfectly honest. It feels like RNG are so incredibly far ahead, but they are set up here. They have Breed in the bot side. If anyone ever shows up to try and
9000ゴールド4ドラゴンいつの間に4ドラゴン取ってんじゃねえかマウンテンソウルかー無理ゲーすぎる
Honestly, even if it's Yaharon, I'm pretty sure
なんでフィオラなんだよなんで GS じゃねえんだよブリーズ Play Jace bro お前だったら JS もプレイできるだろ
And that's both solo laners gone.
And now it's just going to be the Baron for RNG. Breed doesn't even have to come, so he can keep putting the split push pressure down in the bottom lane. And RNG still just winning out on both sides of the map. Unfortunate, because even though DFM are at this huge deficit, I thought, okay, well, if RNG kind of just mess about long enough, we do see items coming online for DFM's still amazing scaling comp. But now with the Baron, it doesn't seem like we'll get
強いな
Breathe is level 16, Harp is level 9. It almost takes 2 Harps to make a Breathe, and they do not want to go anywhere near this man. Breathe jumps in.
なんかポテンシャルは去年よりもデトネーション強い気はする
Flies out as Harp goes for the flash. Stun, into the gun, and there it is. But it's traded across the map for steal.
It's the stun gun 1 for 1. Xiaohu even gets the top side as well.
去年よりか強い感じはするんだけどな
RNG just picking up things right, left, and center. Even with one pick coming back.
本戦行ったら結構いい感じの戦い方しそうだけど
Go to the back pocket for the AD carrying Udapon, but not going to be enough.
まあしゃあないね
trying to go help and show us if they can win that 2v1, but Xiaohu and Wei say no. Get that pick, which leads to the Baron going over to the side of RNG.
So let's see where things are right now. We got 2 minutes left on the Baron. We've still got Soul locked and loaded, running for everybody on the side of RNG. Breathe has 5 seconds before he's back alive. Unfortunately for RNG, his death means that if they want to have full Baron split push power, somebody else has to be with Fiora, which is not what Fiora wants. She much prefers to just be out on her own, doing her own thing, moisturized in her lane, vibing. But that's not the case. RNG is going to continue moving through the enemy jungle, bounce back and forth, control the vision, make it dark, make it scary, and make it so DFM doesn't know where they can walk. Breed is back up on the top side. He has no TP, but I don't think RNG is really too concerned about that. 4v5, they've still got more gold in combat power.
And that's why Breed TP topside. He wanted to make sure that he could actually get the point his bot wave is going to cross.
And you can see the Sejuani ult from Steel fired out there in desperation. Xiaohu was able to evade it as Evie goes in and finds a stun onto Wei. But Gala's got the kill right back onto Evie.
ダメだ終わっちゃう俺たちの夏が
Barely escaping.
世界大会が終わ
Barely staying alive. Wei wants another one, but he won't get Steel. He will force both tanks of DFM back into their own base, back into their own fountain, and it's looking like the end of the series
や
here.
っぱグループを2位抜けできなかったのがきつかったな
There at the very end, Udapon goes down as well, however, and that means that RNG is on to the next.
徐々に上手くなってはきたんだけどね GG お疲れ様でした
The MSI champions, you never doubted them getting through
まあ
play-ins. There were
初
some
戦と
hiccups.
2試合目うまくやった
Lost to DFM in this series, but I think overall,
正直全試合こうやってボコられるかなって思ったんだけど
figuring out their read
そ
on
れ
the
でも1
meta,
試合
we
は
just
取
saw
った
in
し
this series
セカンドゲームも途中まで勝ってたし
by far the most dominant game when they had.
And you can still see though it's a lot about picks for
残念だ
RNG, right? The Viego coming through from
相手がマジで
looking
強い
great on that. Xiaohu, sorry, Breed looking great as well on things like the Fiora. It's still a lot of these things that we know and saw in the LPL. But, I mean, you can see there for Evie, devastation for DFM. They tried their heart out to get themselves to groups, but unfortunately they were up against the MSI.
デトネーションはもう終わりそうだね予選はもう全て終わったかな
But again, I do not want game
予
one
選
to be
勝ち上がった
forgotten.
のは
I
フ
do
ァナ
not
ティッ
want
ク
the first
EG
time that
RNG
RNG lost a game
DRX
to a minor
結
region.
局メジャーリージョンじゃねえか
To the LJL representative to be forgotten.
結局メジャーリージョン4つ上がっただけじゃねえか
As a team,
あごめんワイルドカード1チーム上がってるわ EG が
Unfortunately for them,